Joey Badass dropped another track, Sorry Not Sorry, which is only surprising and interesting because usually when someone drops consistently, there's an album coming. And that's really what it feels like Sorry Not Sorry is. It feels like it's promotion for an upcoming project. It might sound like he's trying to be hella braggadocious and put himself into some sort of beef, but ultimately I feel like he's just looking for attention, and this is honestly doing it in a way that may end up having him look mad corny. Like, you know, he's just trying to do too much, trying to get in front of people, all that. I mean, at this point, he has had people respond to his initial track, The Ruler's Back. I mean, we got that Daylight track, Curtis King, Rayvon, among other people have responded to him. But on this track, aside from, you know, maybe a bit of a reach and a couple of lines I will talk about, it doesn't really seem like he's really responding. Like, this really just feels like a track that he had ready to go. And he's like, all right, let me just put it out because it's my birthday. Also, I'm happy birthday, Joey, I guess. Anyways, going into the song, there's a little bit to look at, like I mentioned. It does start off strong, where it has him mentioning his neighborhood, and he's just really bigging up his city. Like, he's, you know, yeah, this is my spot. This is where I'm from. We dope here. Let's try to bring that back. And I think that was a great start. The video is really solid too, because we kind of go between the sort of more mob vibes that we got in like 90s rap videos and a little bit more of like the street vibes too. And it really does just show kind of the person that Joey's been trying to present himself as over the years. About halfway through the first verse, we had the lines,
know that men lie, women lie, but Joey don't. Might delete later, I know damn sure that Joey won't.
Which is a pretty obvious shot to J. Cole's Might Delete Later, where he had 7-minute drill, which was then deleted later. That's fine and all. It doesn't really add much to the conversation. I mean, what does this bring that anyone else could have said? Like, it's nothing crazy. Like, yeah, I'm gonna put some stuff out. I'm gonna say my thing, and I'm not gonna take it back. It is what it is. That's what he's doing. But it is really interesting because he's really just continuing to throw shots at the quote unquote big three, Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. But he hasn't even responded to people that are kind of at his level, or I mean, Daylight even. Like, they at least, you know, nothing obviously. But speaking of Daylight, we can kind of see this as the first possible mention of Daylight or reference to him, solely because he was on Might Delete Later. This line of thinking continues on with the next bit.
Fuck it, I want all the smoke. Put my credit on the line, cause niggas can't fuck with me. We talking about it line for line.
And this all just seems like a pretty direct response to what Daylight said on High U, where he said, I clear smoke globally, and credit line to the max, we overstacking though. Daylight is, like, I mean, his namesake is clearing the clouds, pardon smoke. Like, he's just that sort of person. But Joey wants all the smoke. He's like, nah, bring it to me. Like, try to clear this out. Try to clear me out. And he's putting his credit on the line. Like, he's like, bet. Like, I'm up here. You can't beat me, even though Daylight's somewhere else entirely. But then, you know, he continues on with that credit line to the max bit. Daylight's got a lot of credit. And Joey's also saying he's got a lot of credit. So who's gonna win out here? I mean, we'll probably see. I don't know. Probably not. There's another bit at the end of this verse that may be in reference to Daylight with,
Where's all divine? Properly aligned, this little light of mine. Promise I'ma let it shine till it leave you niggas blind.
again, may totally be a reach, but it could be in response to Daylight, where he said he's from the city where the sun shine clearly, but also, again, the clearing smoke line. It's kind of just another play on the word daylight. This little light of mine, let it shine. And also, if you want to really, really take it further, him saying divine kind of sounds like Daylight's real name, Devon, but that's really taking it too far. Joey does also have that little reference, I guess, to Biggie and Pac, where he says he's haunted by the ghost of Biggie and Pac, and now he's both of them combined. But we can just leave that alone. We don't need to really delve into that too much, because we all know that sounds crazy. In the second verse, we get a beat switch and a reference to Biggie's What's Beef with,
Nigga, what's beef, huh? Beef is when a nigga like you can't sleep.
which kind of ties back into the previous track with all the Jay-Z and just general New York references. So it's like, hey, here's another Brooklyn, New York artist. Let's keep pulling it from them. He's basically trying to show like, yo, we were doing all this shit back in the day. Why aren't we not doing it now? At least that's kind of the idea that I got from it. He continues on saying,
wake up with no appetite and now you can't eat. Now you can't speak. Cat got his tongue, he been missing all week.
Which, you know, in theory would mean like, hey, there's someone that responded, or he put the song out, he sent it to someone directly. They waited a whole week, nothing responded. What's happening? But then Joey also did take almost 2 weeks to come back with this song. Like Daylight dropped, I think, on January 5th. If that. I think it was even earlier. And now it's January 20th. I don't know. But that kind of goes further though. Like it does make me feel like this isn't necessarily a response track. This very well could just be something they had ready to go and almost maybe ready back when Drake and Kendrick were beefing last year. Joey, you're like 6 months late. You can't really put your hat in the ring now. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like just cool it. He does go on to mention God and Satan again, which feels like a slight call to Kendrick in general, but it could totally just be him saying things because it does make sense in the context of the song. As he wraps up this verse, he carries a similar theme through the last, 6-8 lines, where he says, I'm 10 toes deep, you get cold feet, written manifesto of a young G, and many men trying to smoke me. Him saying, I'm 10 toes deep, you get cold feet, could just be a general response to people who might be afraid to respond to things or backtrack on what they said. Or, you know, they'll come out and kind of half say something, which also kind of seems like what he's doing here. He's not really fully delving into it. Like, yeah, you can be 10 toes deep on what you're putting out, but you're not saying it with your chest. You're just saying slight things. I don't know. It feels weird. And then the many men trying to smoke me, clear 50 Cent reference. Just wanted to, continue to reference artists from New York and bring them up and be like, hey, let's try to get back to this era, which might be cool. It might be cool if you absolutely could. But overall, I think the song was fine. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, nor did it really feel necessary. Joey did have some lines that could be in relation to some of what he's trying to stir up, but honestly, I think he's just doing promo at this point. And unfortunately, at least in my mind, he's not doing it in a manner that really engages most people. The Ruler's Back was interesting because it sounded like he really wanted to show that New York is really out here doing things and that he's one of the people that you should be looking at. And maybe trying to get some clout from the Kendrick and Drake beef. Like, again, this could have totally been dropped 6 months ago and it would have made a little bit more sense then. But, ultimately on this track, it just feels like he fell flat because instead of building on what he started with, it feels like he kept a different sort of energy going. Like, it didn't really feel like he had much else to say other than, just you wait, I'll show you all how great of a rapper I am. Like, bro, like, I'm waiting for more. Like, I know you can rap well. I know you put out great albums. You rap your ass off. What is this? Like, it just feels like it's below the bar that you've set for yourself. And that's kind of disappointing. But anyways, I expect more from him going forward because this does just feel like a rollout at this point. Maybe he's got a whole album with Conductor. Maybe he's trying to tie in all the potential reference or features that he's going to have. Maybe he's going to have Daylight on there. Maybe he's going to have J. Cole on there. Maybe he's going to have Kendrick. We don't know. We don't know yet. I doubt that any of that's going to happen though, because no one really fucks with him like that. At least it feels like it. Anyways, let me know in the comments below though what you thought of this. I know I just kind of rambled on and didn't really say anything that really added too much, but here we are. Thank you for watching though. While you're down there in the comments, like and subscribe to see more rambling and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there.